Alright, we should be live now. Let's see here. Alright, we should be live now. Okay, audio sounds good. Just put this bad boy in Discord and then we can begin. Alright, we should be set up and officially good to go. Sorry for the delay, by the way. This is certainly far later than hoped for, but we should be officially good now. So here's a look at the current playoff picture heading into Week 17. The Cougars have clinched for 1 seed. The Packers are pretty much clinched. The Niners have clinched a playoff spot, I think. I think they've actually clinched a division, and I believe that's it. I think Carolina's pretty much a lock. Dallas should be good, but, I mean, you never know. Memphis should be good as well. Then the AFC, the Texans have clinched a division. The Diablos have clinched a playoff spot, and that's about it. Meep! Just watching the Cavs series. Cool, cool. Fitting timing that I just uploaded the next episode. Keaton is the starter. All your backups are in as you requested, so music is on. Is it? I guess there's one song on. Thanks for noticing. That would have not been ideal. So let's actually also take a look at the draft positions, and then who is in the hunt, and then real quick, do you have a punter? Yes, I cutted the worst player on your roster other than Barrett, and then the game signed a punter last week, remember, when they cut Keaton. So Keaton's on the roster, and you have whoever that random punter is. So all the Rams have to do is lose, and they'll get the #1 pick. Thunderbirds, Colts, and Ravens will be in the top 4 at worst, but in what order? And then these teams probably are not going to make the playoffs. And then the teams with 7 wins, they all still have a shot, I think. So almost everybody is still alive here. In the AFC, the Raiders, Dolphins, Pats, and Bengals are supposed to make it. Chiefs and Jets are right on the edge. Then in the NFC, the Packers and Niners have clinched. Steelers and Panthers should be fine. Bucks, Saints, Cardinals, Lions, Sentinels, Cowboys, Snowhawks, and Bulldogs are all still alive as well. Bulldogs can only clinch their division, but not a wild card. So the first game we're watching is... We'll start with Cougars and Bengals. I do want to see the Cougars this year, and then the Bengals pretty much need a win to get a playoff spot. And then the second one is Snowhawks and Cardinals, which will likely determine one of the wild cards in the NFC. So, got a bunch of good games this week. Alright, I think the Bengals are at home, so Chicago's 1, Cincinnati's 2. Hey Siri, give me a number between 1 and 2. Alright, Siri has selected 1, which is pretty fitting because Colin did ask for a jersey combo, so good thing you landed on 1. Let's see here. Alrighty. Alright, Colin has hoped for the what the heck? Well, they need a left guard. I guess we'll just sign the worst one. He's not going to play. And then just sign some random dude to the practice squad. We'll sign Ike. Colin can always make switches with this. Next, Cincinnati CP. Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh. Well, I guess feeling... Actually, no, we can use your Cincinnati, because I have every team as a user, technically. Okay. Chicago should be the auto user. Yeah, that's fair. Well, I mean, Siri picked Chicago, so it worked out. Okay, we'll cut his worst player on the practice. If Colin wants me to, like, reverse all this and get Marquise Copeland back, then we can do that. But for right now, he can just be cut, and then We'll put Teddy on the practice squad. It's not like Teddy can get stolen or anything. All right. Nope, not the draft class. That's not the actual draft class, by the way. So don't get excited. All right, let's see here. We want the blue jerseys. This isn't too bad. This is fairly clean. For Superstar X Factors, we got 2, Lamar Jackson and Jair Alexander. I'm curious to see what Lamar does in a watch game. Superstars, Ryan Ramczyk, Joe Mixon, Deion Jones, Byron Jones, Eric Armstead, Geno Atkins, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Corey Littleton, and the user offensive tackle, Dawson Nance. Bengals old coach said he forgot was in the league. Oh yeah, that guy, he, I guess, resigned. For, every year after week 17 is when we do the little thing for those on OFL 20. They'll remember, like, where you have to put a letter. I just pretty much do it to see who's actually paying attention and who's active. So, it's a good way to remove inactive coaches, and we do have quite a few. So, that should be interesting. One of the prop bets was the weather this game. If the weather is cloudy, or not cloudy, if it's snowy, rainy, or overcast, and it kind of looks overcast. Is it? I mean, it's not snowing, it's not raining, but it looks like it almost could rain. Okay, well, this is not the situation I was preparing for. I would almost say, yes, it is overcast. I said no, by the way, so saying it is does not help me. But, yeah, it almost looks like... Maybe it's just super cloudy. What do you guys think? Would you guys say it's cloudy or overcast for the prop bet? Dawson Nance going to have to demand a trade. I mean, if the Bengals don't get a new coach going into the offseason, I mean, he can stay on the Bengals if he wants, but I would imagine he doesn't. So, who starts with the ball? The Bengals do. I am continuing to move the sliders to skew towards offense, so hopefully we have some more offense today. I am considering possibly going into next year, maybe doing arcade instead of simulation. I'm not going to change it now just because we're too late into the season, I think. But going into next year, possibly, I might do arcade. Probably arcade. I could consider competitive, but probably arcade. Who would want to stay in Cincinnati? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I mean, unless the Bengals go on some miraculous playoff run as a CPU team, which would be kind of annoying. Is anyone allowed to trade for Nance? Dawson will have to list 5 teams he wants to go to. And then whichever one of those 5 teams comes up with the best trade package would get him. Now, he can pick any 5 teams he wants, so if you want to try to convince him, then go ahead. But he can pick whichever 5 in the league he wants. Or, I guess, whatever 5 user teams. I don't know why he'd pick a CPU team. But, I mean, maybe he wants to go to some other CPU team. I don't know. I wouldn't bet on it. That wouldn't make much sense. There is Raheem Mostert for not. I feel like Lamar Jackson's going to play well today. Lamar has been surprisingly not that great in sim. But, I mean, with his abilities and ratings, I think there's a good shot he just happens to be better in watched. Which, I mean, based on last year and based on what I've seen this year, Lamar Jackson is really good in sim. Maybe it's a Ravens playbook. That could be the reason. But who knows? Now from the 37, that one does not go for much. Lamar is 3 for 3 so far. And the Bengals offense, I mean, we're only 2 minutes in, but so far so good. They are moving the ball down the field. Remember, Cincinnati is 7-8. They have to win pretty much to make the playoffs. Have no idea what you're going to do. I mean, you're going to have a top 5 pick at your disposal. So, I mean, you've certainly got options. The free agency class, I imagine, is going to be weak again because that's how fantasy drafts work. But, I mean, we got to see what the draft looks like, and certainly the trade market should be interesting. Cougars with a stop, so the Bengals will have to kick a field goal. They're not quite in field goal in this range, so they will get it to go in. And it is now 3-0. I feel like they could have gotten a lot more on that drive, though. That was a short one, too. Only 3 minutes. I thought it was shorter than that, to be honest.
They'll take over 1st down and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
So here is Dwayne Haskins leading the charge for the Cougars. He's thrown 1 pass today, but Chicago has clinched for 1 seed, so Colin wanted to start some of his backups. Main reason why we're watching the Cougars is we've not seen them this year, so, I mean, these guys are the 1 seed, so we're going to see them in the playoffs, but I guess seeing them in the regular season is also a good idea as well, even if it's not their full starters. As you have to trade, considering now you can make a trade, but would have to give up a first and Avonte Maddox for the player you want. What is the player you want? I mean, a first-round pick and a solid young corner, it's got to be a pretty darn good player, especially if it's your first this year. Dwayne Haskins is always weird in that instance. Sometimes he can do really well, sometimes he just doesn't. So, and Daniel Jones, the starter for the Cougars, has been surprisingly really good this year. I was not expecting him to be all that good at that in sim, but Daniel Jones has been impressive. You got tacos, Taco Tuesday. Got to get LeBron yelling Taco Tuesday for the memes. Player you want is Isaiah Simmons. That feels like a lot for Simmons. I mean, I guess you could put him at sub linebacker, but I don't know if I trade a top 5 pick for him. I mean, what would he be? 24 going into next year? Probably mid-80s. I guess I see one. Yeah, I guess that's fair. Haskins is incomplete. Bengals with a stop. Cincinnati has a really good front seven. They've got a lot of talent. Cougars are in borderline go for it range or fake it range. They're not. It's a late snap. Oh my word, I thought he got that. Chicago is lucky, and instead we get almost a water punt. 8 yards shy of a water punt. That looked like it was inside the 10 for a second, but I guess not. Bengals have it back. Lamar. He's going to yeet it down the field, and it's broken up. We got to see some more yeets. We're watching Alexei Smirnov again today in the second game. Smirnov, we know, can yeet it. He just doesn't.
Number 31, Raheem Mostert, the ball carrier. Jair Alexander on the tackle. A 2-yard pickup makes it 3rd and 8.
Plan is to trade a first next year. Now everyone knows your plan. I mean, what are you going to do with that knowledge of knowing who he wants? That's the thing. Like, yeah, you know it, but how are you going to... I mean, unless you really want Isaiah Simmons, which, I mean, would make sense. I'm sure it could be an upgrade at linebacker over Jelani Tavai. Then again, anyone would be an upgrade over Jelani Tavai. And me, I know your plan. And I may let myself trade again. Now, I don't think I'd target Isaiah Simmons, but I'm totally going to tell the rest of the Discord. No, I'm just kidding. That would be funny, though, if I just said, hey, here's his plan, and just spill out the whole thing. You were trying to trade for Tavai, and what, get draft picks back with Tavai? Because he's a negative asset? People can watch after it ends. That's true. I mean, they certainly can. And if they do, then they'll know who you want.
The ball carried by number 39. C.J. Mosley on the tackle. A 3-yard.
I wonder what Jelani Tavai's value would be here, at least in the OFL. I mean, I can't imagine it's much. But I mean, maybe some team will see, hey, this guy's young. Maybe he's good. Probably not. But I guess anything's possible. Who watches the chat's live replay? That's a good question. But then again, they'll hear us talking about this, so they'll be curious. Oh my word, he caught it. But maybe they'll be curious if someone is watching after the stream. Miles Boykin with the grab. Let's see if the Cougars can quickly score before the end of the quarter. And that certainly won't help their cause. Jonathan Hankins brings him down. Will they get another playoff? They won't. So first quarter over. It is 3-0, but Chicago is moving it. Cougars are 11-4, the only team with double-digit wins in the AFC, which I think is more so how bad the AFC is. But I mean, this team is clearly the best team in the conference, at least in the regular season. I think regardless what happens today, the Cougars will probably be the favorite to make the Super Bowl. Now, we haven't seen them in a full watch game yet, and in the playoffs, you have to win watch games. So, being favored, especially when we don't know all your team that well in watch games, that doesn't really mean too much. It looks like they're going to have to go for a field goal. So they will tie it, but again, I feel like there is a little bit left to be desired here.
The kick is good. That ties the game at 3-3.
Team message to my team. Loser, the mascot gets it. Oh, poor Timmy the Thunderbird. I don't know. We're going to call him Timmy. See if you'll watch your team next year. I mean, if you guys are competitive, then we'll certainly put the Ravens on the ball. Who started the ball? I think the Bengals did. So that would mean that the Cougars started in the second half. Now, there's still plenty of time before halftime. We just ended the first quarter here, but feel bad for the mascot. Oof. Poor Timmy. What did Timmy the Thunderbird do to deserve this? We're about a quarter of young guns. I mean, if these young guns are fun and hungry, then certainly.
Number 31, Raheem Mostert, the ball carrier. Corey Littleton on the tackle. A gain of a yard. Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 33-yard line.
Here's a nice run for Mostert, who is quite good in Madden from what I've seen. And I mean, the Bengals have two running backs in their backfield. They have Mostert and they have Lamar Jackson. They got two running backs back there. Lamar hasn't really tried to run it today. I mean, quarterbacks don't run like at all in sim, but they do in watch games. So I'm a little surprised Lamar hasn't really ran it yet. Whenever we've watched Kyler Murray this season, he always is running out of control. And we'll get to see him again today, of course. Timmy the Thunderbird told the team to win. Well, Timmy the Thunderbird does not want what's best for his team. Looks like Sheldon Rankins was hurt on the play for the Cougars. One of the positions Colin did not touch for the week was D tackle, so looks like he could be without a starter. They do have rookie Will Molden, who's really good though, so it's not totally the end of the world. Bengals are moving it though, as that is, I guess, DeMarcus Robinson, who already has 5 catches for 50 yards. He's been Lamar's favorite target. Just like in the NFL, Lamar's targets are a bunch of nobodies. I think for the Bengals do have DJ Chark though. I guess he's a somebody. Currently they have Humphrey, Gord, Cheeks, Barrett, Josh Allen, Gus the Bus, and if you get Simmons, I mean that's an interesting group. I mean some players in there are better than others. Sorry, Gus, but I mean if you guys are a solid team next year, then we will certainly watch you.
Taken down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 at the 12-yard line.
Corey Littleton is now hurt. Another position that Colin did not touch when he wanted to put some backups in. So 2 defensive starters have gone down on this drive alone for the Cougars. Have Mahomes, Singletary, Crowder, Lamb, Tate, and Evan Ingram. That's just on offense. I mean, not that your defense is any good, but I mean, we have Drew Lock, and he's cool. Sucks in real life though. Drew Lock is awful, and he was good as a rookie too. I mean, this kind of came out of nowhere. Was wondering where Ingram was. Well, he's hanging with Timmy the Thunderbird. Battle of the field goal so far. Teams just do not like to find the end zone. I mean, we've had more offense today, but it hasn't shown up in the scoreboard. But we have had better offense, which is good. It certainly is a close game. Looks like this one is going to be a battle from start to finish here. I think any game we super sim, Madden crashes. Like, Madden's been weird about games crashing. 2 games in the week 14 and 15 stream, both of them ended up being sims and both crashed. Week 16, I don't think we had to sim either game, if I remember correctly, so neither of them crashed, and I know FG's been having the issue. I thought of the idea of if the game is a sim, just watch the last play so the game doesn't think it's a super sim, but he said that doesn't work, so I don't really know what's going to happen if it is a 3-possession game at any point and we have to sim, because I'm going to watch a game that's a blowout, but at the same time I also don't want Madden crashing because that'd be annoying. Forgot about Claypool at tight end. Claypool's been good in the OFL, I think, too, at tight end. For the Steelers' biggest rival, ironically. The fact that the only player on your list who you're putting on the trade block is Auden Tate. Yeah, I see why you'd probably put him on the trade block. I mean, he's a fine third receiver, but, I mean, if you can package him in like a mid-round pick for someone better, who's hurt? Another Cougar. They've gotten hampered. Looks like Adam Troutman. I don't know if he's the starter, but he's hurt. And the fact that they're showing him going to the locker room means he could be out for a little bit. It looks like he was limping. So, gotta watch out for the potential concussion. We know Madden loves their concussions. I don't think Madden's allowed to put concussions in the game. I don't really know why. I guess with, like, brain injuries and CTE, they don't really want to, like, have that stuff in the video game. But, I mean, concussions are a part of football. Currently developing Claypool at blocking. I feel like receivers at tight end are almost a smarter investment in this game than tight ends at tight end. As long as they're not, like, absolutely god-awful blockers, then, I mean, receivers usually go up in rating when they move to tight end. I don't really know why, but, I mean, Madden's just stupid like that, and then certain receivers like KJ Hamler, Curtis Samuel, they move up when they move to running back. Again, because Madden is dumb like that. But, I mean, you can get an okay receiver, move them to tight end, and they're already one of the better tight ends in the league. They just have bad blocking ratings. I mean, that's what I did in OFL 20. I moved Hakeem Butler to tight end, and we all know that the rest was history there. Haskins is lucky that wasn't picked. But, I mean, Hakeem Butler going to tight end shows that just about any receiver can be successful at tight end. Haskins under pressure. He is sacked by Geno Atkins. The Bengals are not calling time. That's kind of a surprise. So they're just going to let the clock run out? I suppose that's what it looks like. Instead of calling a timeout, so the Bengals are not going to try to drive down the field. Rather, they're just going to let the clock stop. I like how concussions in hockey only last a few days, and then in other sports, players are out for a good month or two. I don't know if I'd say they're out for a month or two. I mean, real life DeAndre Swift has a concussion. He didn't play Sunday. I don't think he plays on Thursday. So I guess I would say it's probably like a 2-week injury, probably. I mean, DeAndre Swift guy is getting kind of unlucky because obviously we're having a short week. But Eagles coach just betted. He sometimes puts his bets in late, but I've noticed that like a lot of them are wrong, so I don't think he's cheating. Otherwise, I'd be suspicious. But I've noticed like a lot of the times when he posts them like during streams that it's very clear that he's not cheating based on some of the bets. Tate is cool, but you don't really expect to trade him just so you can find a better third receiver. I mean, having game-changing receivers in this game can be a big deal. Especially with speed, specifically. Guys who can just make ridiculous plays after the catch, those are the best kind of receivers in this game. Already a flag on the Cougars, so they are starting the ball, but not a great start to the half. Lives in Australia, yeah, I mean, his time zones are all, like, wacky and stuff. I'm sure he would be more active if his time zones weren't wacky, so I don't really blame him. But, I mean, he certainly provides a good amount of activity for someone who lives on the other side of the world. Did that just say the Cougars have ran it, like, 4 times? I know they have a backup in at running back who's like a 65 overall, but Jesus, that's low. And the Cougars always run the ball well. I mean, they have arguably the best 1-2 punch with Joe Mixon and Kerryon Johnson, who both are quite good in this league. And they actually get touches. Detroit beat Kerryon the ball. It's 11 a.m. in Sydney, or 11. It's 11:11. If you're in Sydney, you got to make a wish. I don't know if that's where Meals is, but if it is, he has to make a wish. Third and 1. I can't read. They get the first, but it might be coming back. The Cougars have gotten unlucky with injuries and now penalty flags today. Ryan Ramczyk. Live an hour later in the Eastern time zone. Is Canada, like, is part of Canada that much more east than, like, the coast of America? I never knew that. Until you were saying earlier that you're an hour ahead. 8:12 for you. Yeah, it's 7:12 here. Sadness. I bet in Canada it's S-A-U-D. It's sad. They would do that. They love their games. Bengals back with the football. 6-3 is the score. We've had a fine amount of offense today, but it's just not translated into the scoreboard. Nobody has scored a touchdown yet. A lot of teams are just getting stopped, like close to field goal range or close to the end zone. But I think it's more so just conservative play calls on fourth down rather than being aggressive to go for it or kick a long field goal. They are both trying to play it safe. I mean, I understand it for the Cougars. They don't really have to win today. But, I mean, the Bengals, if they win, they're probably in. And if they lose, they're probably out. So, this game pretty much determines if the Bengals are in the postseason or not. Also helps that you don't put a stream at 9 p.m. Eastern Time and it's a Raven game. Yeah. For you, I'm sure you wouldn't want to miss that. But, I mean, I'm always trying to, like, get better with, like, actually starting on time. I know today I was, like, even later than normal. But I feel like I almost have to list a time and then just tell myself, like, half an hour earlier to get ready then almost. Because when I put down 6, I think of, like, 5:50, 5:55 to get ready. And then dinner went a little bit longer than I expected, so that was pushed back, so a bunch of weird stuff. Nathan makes it to a stream. Huzzah, huzzah! He's done it! These two teams are scaredy cats. I mean, they're not trying. I mean, as I said earlier, I get it for the Cougars. They don't have much to play for today. They got the 1 seed locked. But, I mean, for the Bengals, this game determines if they're in the playoffs or not, most likely. So, they have the lead, and they have to be smart, but at the same time, look at this. 3rd and 11, Lamar with the yeet, and it's caught! There's the touchdown we've been waiting for. DJ Chark. It's a Chark attack. They're both cats as well. I didn't even think of that. You are on the money there, Boomy. You are on the money. Ravens and Chiefs. That'll be such a sick Week 17 game in real life. But just the Ravens suck here, and the Chiefs are competing for a playoff spot. And the Bengals winning right now certainly is not good for the Chiefs. This is not the Lamar Jackson that we've seen in Sin this year. I don't know where this guy came from on that play. You have your cat right beside me. The coincidences here are off the charts. DJ Chark, do. Whenever DJ Chark scores, the game should play that, and the Jaguars should do this in real life too. Whenever he scores, they have to play that song. They have to. Look at this broken tackle. I had knocked down the tackle sliders fairly considerably for both teams. I figured, hey, maybe that could lead to more big plays, and I guess it showed there. The next game is 2 birds. Yeah, Cardinals and Snowhawks. Those are 2 birds. So you got the Battle of the Cats and the Battle of the Birds. Rabbit is drinking her water. She better be. She better be drinking that water. Otherwise, that would not be ideal. Dwayne Haskins has played fairly well today. I mean, they only have 3 points, but... Yeah, I mean, Daniel Jones has been really good this year for the Cougars, but Dwayne Haskins has been more than serviceable. It's just that they haven't really tried to run the ball. I mean, again, they have like a 65 overall back there, but...
It's a pickup of 6. Brings up 2nd and 4. At the Bengals,
Another good throw. The Cougars are moving it quickly here towards the end of the third. How is the Cavs video doing? I saw it earlier. It looks like it's doing well so far. I mean, it kind of makes sense considering it's the first video on the PS5. And I pretty much titled it My NBA Episode 1. So it's almost clickbaity a little bit to an extent. But I mean, I'm not lying. It is the first episode of the new My NBA series, so technically it's not. Another good throw from Haskins to the 5. Third quarter in the books. Bengals are up by 10, but the Cougars are very close to the end zone here to open up the 4th. Expect you to get extremely active over the next few weeks since your province is now on the incline for virus cases. I don't think I can say the word on YouTube, which is dumb. Is it getting that bad up there for you guys too? I mean, over here, it's worse than it's ever been. I mean, it is really bad here.
That's the end of the third quarter.
Like all over the country, here specifically.
13. Cougars 3.
I got tested like a couple weeks ago. Those tests are not fun. I mean, it's quick, but those are not fun. Thankfully, I tested negative, but those tests are not fun at all. It was like, it felt like you were getting stung in your nose. I mean, it only hurt for a couple seconds, but that was not pleasant. Had 37 cases today. Good chunk of them were in schools. Yeah, I mean, if they're having it in schools, that's not ideal. All of the schools in our county have pretty much closed. I mean, ours was closed anyway. We haven't actually gone into school since like March. But, I mean, yeah, it is rough over here. Good, that throw was on the money. There were like 3 defenders in the area. And Haskins with a perfect throw. That's his first career touchdown reception. Grayson, one of the backups. You were fine before November. I mean, for the most part, obviously we were bad like March and April when it really started. And then after that, it was just pretty steady. And then, yeah, really the past few weeks, it is just skyrocketed. I mean, it is bad. I think, what, there were like 150,000 cases a day. I mean, that's just a ton. The death rate seems a lot lower from what I know. I mean, I'm not an avid news person. But from what I know, the death rate is lower, but I mean, the cases are just soaring. But I mean, that's the gauntlet that 2020 has given us. Good thing we only have 1 more month left. Maybe, like, once 2021 happens, the virus is just going to be snap dead once we hit New Year's. That would be fun. I'm not going to bet on it, but, I mean, Mother Nature's done weirder things, so I suppose anything's possible. Cougars are 8 in sacks, only 1 today. I almost wonder if the pass blocking side was lower, but at the same time, I would say there are a fair amount of sacks in watch games. Run blocking I continue to knock up, but even so, that's still a little bit inconsistent. Fine right before the start of June until the end of October. Had an average of 0 in those months. Wow, that's pretty good. School had 6 total cases with 87 quarantine. Jeez, 87? That's a big number. So that decision to have you virtual learning is coming up clutch. Shout out to our superintendent for not being dumb. He definitely made the right call, in my opinion, by just having us here. And I almost prefer it here to an extent. Like, there are parts you miss about real school, but at the same time, I mean, now I can just, like, do YouTube stuff in the middle of class. Like, I can multitask super easily, which is very convenient. Yeah, I mean, it probably would have been a mess, even if we did hybrid with our school. I don't know. I mean, just in the hallways, like, how squished the hallways are in between classes. Like, back when school was normal, I mean, there was, like, no space in between classes getting through the hallway, because everybody's classes are pretty much the same times throughout the day, so everybody's in and out of rooms at the same time. It is squished. I mean, you can get through, but there are a lot of people in that, like, in a short amount of area. So, certainly weird. One school has 207 quarantined. That's like, that's quite the amount of people. I mean, that's a lot of people. Sports are done. We still have school sports though, which is weird. Our seasons were like delayed, but even without going, we still have sports, and I was able to still call like football games and stuff, which was fun. I mean, I'm happy I got to do it. We only had like 2 home games, and our football team was terrible this year. But we still got to call games, which was fun. But it's odd, like, having all that regular school stuff, but not having actual school itself. It's really weird. Oh, hey, Apple. Welcome to the stream, my guy. Close game here. Cougars are fighting back. As it looks like they're going to get a big play here. It's a 61-yard touchdown. Chicago takes the lead. Jets fans and Chiefs fans are dancing for joy right now. Johnson with the touchdown. I don't know who these backup Cougars receivers are. First quarantine happened when your province hit 50. Now you have 88 and are in lockdown. I mean, we're not in lockdown. I mean, for the most part, people are living their... I mean, social distance. I mean, Thanksgiving's obviously going to be totally different for everybody. But outside of Thanksgiving, mass, social distancing, and no school. I mean, other than that, I mean, people are living fairly normally, which probably isn't smart, but I mean, people don't like not living normal. Old Elementary has 0 positive cases. Good for them. I mean, especially if kids. I mean, like young kids can be like super touchy, which I almost feel like it'd be easier for them to get it. Not that they're high risk at all, thankfully, but I almost feel like it'd be easier to like have them spread because they're touching stuff all over the room. They're more likely to touch like their eyes and put their fingers in their mouth. And Christmas, yeah, Christmas will be different too, for sure. But I mean, pretty much since the virus season started, pretty much every holiday has almost been, I don't want to say canceled to an extent, but like not the same. Wow, there's only 2.5 minutes left. This fourth quarter flew by. Holding on Brian Bulaga, Iowa. The classic clip. Bengals have all 3 timeouts. They can still certainly win this game. Most important drive of the very season. If they win, they're probably in. If they lose, they're probably out. And that's not an ideal play for them. Tremaine Edmonds, I think that is, with the tackle. The Cougars have both Edmonds brothers. I don't think they have a running back brother, Trey Edmonds, the running back, but they have the 2 defensive brothers. Your school said that they found out that 1 kid tested positive, so now they're up to 7. Yikes. Oh, it's picked off by Malik Hooker. Now the Cougars are going to try to chew clock and end it. You had the virus in a funeral home. Yikes. I mean, funerals are, like, especially bad because, I mean, you have loved ones who are passing away. You can't really have an actual funeral. Thankfully, I haven't lost any loved ones since the virus started. So, I mean, I wouldn't have gone to any funerals from March to now. But, I mean, the people that would have, which is probably quite a number of people, that must just suck. So, I can't imagine how it feels to have, like, someone important pass away, and then you can't possibly have a funeral, like an actual funeral. As a Texan, they've been really lax about, they're lax about it everywhere. I mean, Texas, I mean, there are some wackos in Texas. I'm not saying you're a wacko, but there are some wackos in Texas. As the Cougars get the first down, so that looks like it's game over. A funeral home full of old people? Yeah, that's like, geesh, that's really bad. And that's your ball game. Hopefully it doesn't crash. So the Cougars win with half of their backups in. They improve to 12-4. The Bengals, in their most important game of the season, lose because they're the inconsistent Bengals. And now they need pretty much a miracle to get in. But the Bengals losing means there's still a chance that an under 500 team can make it as a wild card in the AFC. If the Jets and Chiefs both lose, the Jets are playing the Dolphins, who are good. The Chiefs are playing the Ravens, who are not good. If both of those teams lose, then an under 500 team will make the playoffs. School has required masks. Yeah, another one of the good things about like having virtual school is I would not want to wear a mask throughout the entire day. I mean, if I had to, I would, but I mean, I don't know how you'd be able to like stay in classroom with a mask the whole time. You're a school that has 4K students. You've had a case a week. That is kind of impressive. That's a lot of kids. Started with an employee, and then I guess it passed. Lucky that your governor is actually taking it seriously and not been a complete idiot. I mean, I'm not going to act like I know the most about what our governor is doing, but from what I know, he doesn't seem like a total idiot. Unlike some. According to Twitter, the Florida governor's an idiot. Maybe we should just, like, cut off Florida and just let it sail into the ocean. That would be convenient. Alright, is Madden going to crash? Will the game crash? So far, so good. Hey, it didn't crash. Alright, cool. Canada made a law that you must wear a mask at indoor public places. Oh my word, that would be such a good law here. That would be such an awesome law to have. But, I mean, so many people wouldn't do it. That's how people are. Who won? The Cougars won. Have to wear a mask all day long in school? Yeah, I cannot imagine that's fun. Alright, who is home for the second game? I think Portland is. Winner of this game probably gets a wild card spot, and the loser of this game probably does not. Oh yeah, Portland's home. Hey Siri, can you pick a number between 1 and 2? Siri has selected 1. That is Arizona. Alright, both of these teams... Well, I think the Cardinals are 9 and 6, and the Snowhawks are 8 and 7. So with a win, Arizona's pretty much in. With a win for the Snowhawks, it's a little bit more complicated. They'll be tied with the Cardinals. So, I mean, if the Snowhawks lose, they're definitely done. If Arizona wins, they're definitely good. And if the Snowhawks win, then things get complicated because they're tied. You're in one of the smartest schools in Canada. Still has to deal with being in a class of 25. No, not the Chargers. Wearing a mask isn't that big of a deal when you have asthma. I mean, if someone with, like, asthma or really anyone with breathing problems can do it, then I feel like anybody can. Some people just don't recognize that. I don't know why people dislike it, though. I guess because they want to act tough or whatever, but it's, like, literally not a nuisance. Alright, we're going to go with the shiny black jerseys. Or at least the shiny helmets. This was like the go-to Cardinals jersey combo in OFL 20, so I feel like we should rock with it. But your classrooms are small. 25 is considered small up there. Here I'd say 25 is, at least for our schools, I'd say 25 kids is about normal. The all-black jerseys are indeed amazing. And the helmets are beautiful. I don't know why the Cardinals just don't always wear shiny helmets, because they are absolutely sick. The rooms for the school are small? Oh, okay. Have we watched the game at Portland Stadium? I think we have. It's a cool stadium. But here we go, Week 17. The final team to lose a game this year, the Snowhawks, are now a loss away from being eliminated from the playoffs. Arizona is a win away from pretty much being a virtual lock to get in. I don't think either team is in the playoff picture at the moment, which goes to show how good the NFC is, because both teams would easily be in the AFC right now. The Cardinals would have clinched already, and the Snowhawks would pretty much be a lock to get in as well. I'm very curious to see what happens in this game. I think I bet on the Cardinals. Even though Arizona is like not all that good in watch games, they won in Week 16 against Jacksonville, but Cardinals have not been all that good in watch games, which is a little bit concerning for them going into the playoffs for sure. Like 20 meters by 10 meters, geez, that is kind of small. I don't know how big our classrooms are, but they're definitely bigger than that. Early flag, an illegal block in the back on Portland. Quite the start for them. One of the main reasons why they've been so bad is because Kyler's numbers have just been absolutely horrendous. At the beginning of OFL 21, I was always talking about how Kyler has been exceeding expectations because he sucked in Madden 20 Sim, and now he is sucking in Madden 21 Sim. So, sorry for the Canadian measurements. No, we in the States have meters, so that's not totally new language to us. What's good, Romer? Welcome. But yeah, a meter is pretty much a yard, so just envision a yard. Do you guys use centimeters? Like, often? Or not centimeters. What am I trying to think of? Geez, I'm dumb. Celsius. I know centimeters and Celsius have nothing to do with each other, but I got confused by the C's. Center color, any other weird Canadian words? Hey fellas, we got bruised ribs. Oh, that's not fun. I mean, at least you don't have 11 broken ribs like Drew Brees, so you got that going for you. Celsius, yes. I think all the countries use us as weirdos, because we're the only ones who use Fahrenheit, I think. Snowhawks are lucky to have Ronald Jones back. I think the past few weeks they've had one running back on their roster who was like a 65 overall, so I'm very sure they're excited to have Ronald Jones back, and I think Miles Sanders is back too. Not that that'll matter if they lose today, and they don't have much of a drive here. Miles, Jack brings him down. That'll force a punt. After this game, would it be too much of a hassle to go over every game every week so you can finish your spreadsheet? I can go through that quickly, yeah. That one, do you want just scores or all the stats and stuff? If that was stats, then I can just try to get you something later. But if you just want to see all the scores, then yeah, that'll take like 2 minutes for me to run down. Eh is one of our favorite words. Everybody loves eh. EA really showing a screen for notable inactives, which is a grand total of 0 people. EA and their crap. Just scores. Can we also go? We're not going to go over the stats of every game right now, dude. We're obviously going to go over the stats of the Week 17 games, and I can run down all the scores for Apple. But yeah, I mean, if you just want to see stats, we should probably just run down like the yearly stats anyway, since we're at the end of the season. We might as well. Oh, stats in general? Yeah, since we're at the end of the season, that's probably a good idea. Could do an extra place for awards. We'll definitely be looking at awards today, considering, well, it's Week 17. So if you want to add awards, we will be looking at those as well today.
First down, Cardinals.
Solid run from Kamara.
Cody Barton on the stop. 4 yards on
Like legal, yeah, we'll go through the league leaders at the end of the stream today.
45-yard line.
This Cardinals team is so annoying because Alexei Smirnoff has an absolute cannon, and he never shows it off. It's so annoying. This guy can absolutely yeet it, and he just doesn't. Oh, fumble! And it's picked up by the Snowhawks. Just want to see how your Ravens did, see who is gone. How would you see who's gone? I mean, we're not going over retirements today because that's after the Super Bowl stage, which is obviously the OFL Bowl, but, I mean, and re-signings, there's no one big for any team up for re-signings. I imagine the highest player who needs a new contract is Tom Brady, considering he was cut. And, well, I'm not signing Brady to anything ridiculous, so I'm probably just going to let him go. I mean, he's not even a starter for us. When you're done, should you put it into announcements? Yeah, go for it.
First and 10 at the 43-yard line.
You're going to laugh if Arizona goes 9-7 and misses the playoffs by 1 game. That would be so Cardinal-like. Maybe it's not your curse. Maybe it's just the curse of the Cardinals in the OFL. That might be what it is. Maybe it's the team that's the 9-7 meme, not necessarily the coach. Like how the sim year, if your team makes the playoffs and then now a top 5 pick. The records in the sim year are far different than this one. The sim year told us nothing. The OFL Bowl was between the Bulldogs and the Jets. Both teams are technically still alive, but they're under 500 and they're probably not going to make it. They're just lucky because the Bulldogs are in a sucky division and the Jets are in a sucky conference. The NFC North was absolutely terrible, remember, in the sim year. The Vikings went 8-8, and everybody was terrible. Now, the Vikings, or I guess the Thunderbirds, are the only bad team in that division, and the other 3 all have a good shot at making the playoffs. Maybe not Detroit. I mean, the Lions need a few things to go their way, but the Packers clinch, and the Steamers should be good as well. I imagine if Arizona loses and the Snowhawks win, Memphis probably officially clinches, even before sending the week. Team won the division to 8-8. Now you're the only bad team in that division. Cut a lot of players. I mean, you cut Brady. Thanks for the talented backup. Because there's no way we're replacing big old Drew Lock for him. So the turnover did nothing for Portland. This will probably be the last play of the first quarter. No points yet today. Again, not a lot of offense even with the sliders. I don't feel like it's a good idea to move just because we're so far in. But that would create potentially some really good playoff games. So, Simier, you went from 6-2 to 7-9. That's kind of rough. I mean, I guess it helps your draft position, but Naruto should be the lucky one, not you. I mean, Naruto's probably going to get the 2 seed, so don't put Tom Brady on the same field as Jordan Fuller. Nope, and unfortunately for us, we don't have Jordan Fuller. We have a different Ohio State defensive back who was picked in the 2020 draft. He looks a lot worse than Jordan Fuller. But we don't have Jordan Fuller, unfortunately, now. Kind of hard to believe that Jordan Fuller has been better than Okuda. I mean, I still trust Okuda. I think he's going to be great, but I mean, he is bad. He is not good right now. He's just not that good of a player at the moment. I think a lot of it might just be the awful coaching, and I think Matt Patricia's like far and away the second worst coach in the league. Like, nobody's worse than Adam Gase, but then Patricia's second worst, and then there's a huge tier gap. But, I mean, even Adam Gase, like, had some moderate success with the Dolphins. He led them to the playoffs. He won, like, 10 games in the season. Matt Patricia barely has 10 wins in 3 years. So there's an argument that Patricia's worse than Gase just because of Gase's previous success with the Dolphins. Not that he was a good coach there. He certainly wasn't. But, I mean, he made a playoff game. And not a lot of coaches can say that. He was in the OFL Bowl every year and made bad trades. I mean, he just got lucky he got New England. Now, to be fair, he had a good fantasy draft, and his team is in the playoffs this year. There's a really solid shot. Houston makes it back. Maybe Naruto's really lucky, or maybe Naruto's not that bad of a coach. I mean, he wasn't good in OFL 20. I don't care how many OFL Bowls he made. He was not a good coach then. But maybe here in 21, coming off a pretty solid fantasy draft. I mean, he did get a top 3 pick, but he used it wisely. He didn't pick a running back. Might be good if your defense improves this offseason. I mean, just with how even all the teams are, really anybody at the bottom is a few moves away from being really good. Watching Plays of the Month on Sportsnet. Is that a Canadian site? Because I'm not familiar. Joe Judge, the best NFC East coach. I'd probably still say Ron Rivera. I'd probably put Joe Judge second just because of how bad Doug Peterson's been this year, and then Mike McCarthy probably should not have a job next year. But I would probably still put Ron Rivera at 1 just because of his experience. I mean, he's made a Super Bowl. He's coached a bunch of good teams in Carolina. I like what Judge is doing. We were talking about it in the Discord the other day. I like the culture that Joe Judge is bringing to the Giants, and it seems like he's doing a really solid job. Could be a bad year, and then kind of like a Brian Flores situation, and now Flores looks like one of the best coaches in the league. Maybe the Bill Belichick coaching tree is starting to get better. I mean, not that the Bill Belichick disciple we hired is any good. But, I mean, 3 years ago, we were talking about how Bill O'Brien was his best coach off that coaching tree. Now look at Bill. You have colorful money? We don't have colorful money. We just have green dollar bills with presidents on the dollar bills. I want colorful money. What is he's like? You? What do you mean he? Joe Judge? Our money sucks. I mean, at least we have plenty of money. Look at Kyler. That's going to be a touchdown for Portland. Sportsnet, yes. Okay, I was going to say, I've like never heard of that. But there are a lot of different things. I'm not going to say weird things Canadians do because, I mean, they probably find us weird. And to be fair, I don't blame them. I mean, Americans are a bunch of weird people, but... Purple, green, blue, orange, and red bills. I'd like to pull out an orange dollar bill out of my pocket. That would be fun. Is that like... What, do you guys have different colors for different dollar amounts, like how we have different presidents for different dollar amounts? That would be fun. I don't know. I feel like that seems better than what we have. Kevin Stefanski is the best rookie coach in the league. That doesn't really say much. I mean, hold on. Let me go through all the rookie coaches real quick. Here, let me just pull up all of the rookie coaches. Alright, let's see here. Mike McCarthy, well, I mean, he's not really a rookie. Nor is he any good. Matt Rule's done a really good job in Carolina. They have a bright future, but I feel like Joe Brady has a really good shot at getting hired as a head coach. I wouldn't be opposed if we hired Joe Brady, to be honest. Ron Rivera, not really rookie, Kevin Stefanski, and Joe Judge. Okay, so the only totally new coaches are Judge, Stefanski, and Rule, all of three of whom, in my opinion, have done a pretty good job. Stefanski's actually won games for Browns. Rule really seems to be setting a good foundation there, and then Joe Judge, I'm not as sold on him, but I do like what he's doing. It seems like he's building a culture there for the Giants. The world claims not care about the U.S., but everybody knows what's happening here. Seems like the U.S. is the main character. You're not totally wrong. I mean, everybody in the world is different from us, but we're also kind of above everybody. I mean, we have it, for the most part, the U.S. citizens have it better than everybody else, as Devontae Adams actually bosses somebody. I can't really say everybody in the country, because obviously, I mean, there are poor people, there are minorities who don't have it as good as someone like me, but, I mean, for the most part, if we're generalizing here, yeah, we have it better than anybody else. Orange is $100, colors in different... Also don't have $1 bills, we have coins that are worth $1. That seems like such a fun name. A loony. That seems like a cool name for a coin. I'd rather say, here I have 2 loonies than saying I have 2 dimes. Plus the U.S., we can beat anybody we want in a war. I mean, the U.S. certainly has more power than everybody else. Not that I'm like some political nerd, but blue is 5, purple is 10, green is 20, red is 50, and orange is 100. Do you guys not have anything after 100? We don't really have anything after 100. Other than fake money. I remember once when I was young, my uncle showed me like a $1 million bill, and I kind of thought it was real for a second. But obviously that's not real, or else everybody would try to steal it. 2 loonies equals 1 toonie. Is that actually real? Is that a real thing? If that's the case, that is beautiful. Toonie, wow, you're not lying. That's real. 2 loonies is a toonie. Why can't we have creative names like Loonies and Toonies?
That's the end of the first half. With the
That's
score
probably where
7-7.
whoever created Looney Tunes, that's probably where they got it, yeah. Who knows?
Justin Tucker set to kick off.
Low scoring first half, 7-0. The Cardinals have a goose egg on the scoreboard. They are starting up the ball though, but again, not a lot of points.
Cardinals take over first and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Smirnoff's numbers aren't even that bad. We just got to see him eat it. Why does Smirnoff not yeet it? Come on, comrade. Yeet it. That's not a yeet. It's like a 4-yard pass. 3, even better.
The pass. Complete to Darren.
We're looking for yeets here, buddy.
It's a pickup of 3. Brings up 2nd and 7 at the 27-yard line.
Looney has a duck or a goose on it, and Toonie has a polar bear. Okay, maybe that is where they came up with Looney Tunes, with the, like, Daffy Duck and stuff. I mean, I don't think there's a polar bear, but
Number 30, Todd Gurley,
that would make sense. Bothers me that Portland's abbreviation is PDX. I am with you. That makes no sense. I don't know why it's not POR or PORT. Where do you get the X from? There's no X in the name. That does not make any sense to me. Like, the D is one thing because it's the last letter. It's in the name at least, but there's no X in there.
First down, Arizona.
Madden's abbreviations are all weird. For the Cougars, I think it's like CHO. I guess that makes sense because there's never Chicago. Well, sometimes there is. I mean, the Bears aren't in the league anymore, but I mean, there are some weird ones. There are some really weird abbreviations, and I don't get it.
16 yards.
Especially Portland. There's no X in the name. That makes no sense. This ain't the X Games. This is Madden. I mean, there are some X's on the field for X factors, but that doesn't mean you should have an X in your name. Or your abbreviation, at least. I mean, considering there isn't an X in Portland or Snowhawks. There's the rookie Jeff Reese with the flag. The guy who has ridiculous power blocking stats and the rest of his numbers suck. You have collectible coins? What do you mean by collectible? Like, coins that, like, have value but you can't spend? Is that what you're saying? If that makes sense? I don't think that makes sense.
It's now 2nd down and 20.
2nd and 20. Alvin Kamara has been kind of quiet today. I mean, he's averaging around 6 yards per carry, which is a good number, but only 4 carries. I have a wild idea for the Cardinals. Maybe you should give Kamara the ball more. They're like in prime field goal miss range. This would be a 57-yarder. I feel like they're going to go for the kick.
A gain of 7.
They're not. They're going to punt it. I wanted to see them go for the kick because I was curious if he'd make it or not. The conservative play calling on this game can get so annoying. The 150 years of Canada Toonies were glow in the dark. You guys have glow in the dark coins? Ours just have heads and tails. Tails never fails. Might as well have made the abbreviation PBS and name the team Kids. That would be funny. That would be creepy, but that would be humorous, yes. Imagine if it said PBS and it just had like a child's logo. That would be so weird. I don't know how to feel about that. I wonder when the first time these two teams played. I mean, not that Madden really cares about tiebreakers, which is dumb. This game just like does not value tiebreakers, which is the most annoying thing. It's pretty much just random. If there are two teams with the same record, it's pretty much just Madden using the Octi strategy, pick a number between 1 and 2 for with Siri.
Complete to Ronald Jones. That's a gain of 3. Now 3rd and 5.
3rd and 5. Cogler running for his life. That might be a face mask. That was a late flag. That's a killer. He stopped him too. Derek Brown with a costly flag, and that's a first down for Seattle. That could totally change the game. Make your best Canadian accent. Oh boy. Oh, so you're from Canada, eh? That wasn't too bad. Maybe it was. I don't know, but that's pretty much all I can say good in a Canadian accent. I used to think I had the coolest Australian accent, but not really. I mean, maybe I do, but maybe I do and I just don't realize it. Who knows? Maybe that's the case.
First and 10 at the 43-yard line.
You want more things that don't make sense? School district has NFL.com blocked, but not MLB.com, NBA, NHL, or ESPN. That is really weird.
Murray's pass. Complete to
Like, I know our computers probably have a bunch of websites blocked, but they don't have like NFL.com blocked. It's a weird thing to block. I mean, it's not like it's a bad website. And if you're gonna do one, you might as well do all the sports websites. But I mean, yeah, kids can use them and I guess get distracted, but it's not like it's an inappropriate website.
Murray on the keeper. Derek Brown on the stop. A gain of a yard. Brings up second and 9 at the 30-yard line.
This could be the last play before the quarter, and they won't get it off in time. Still 7-0. Snowhawks trying to finish it off and keep their playoff chances alive. Nick School is NFL-cist. I mean, there are some anti-NFLers. Specifically the Kaepernickators, but I mean, that'd be like a petty thing to do. Just block the NFL website because you don't like Kaepernick. I don't think a school district would be petty enough to do that. So I mean, that's kind of weird, but I don't think they're petty enough to block a website because they dislike Kaepernick. What is going on? Okay, I thought the game was about to glitch out for a second, but we're good. Snowhawks are in field goal range, and remember, I believe they have Justin Tucker, so their field goal miss range is like 5 yards past everybody else's. As Kyler is super lucky that was not picked. That could have changed this game. But now it'll be 10-0. Bearing a block and they don't block it. And Tucker is Justin Tucker. He's automatic. He does not miss. Saw an Instagram post reacting to the Danny Green trade. Said new construction. Oh yeah, I saw that. It was like because he only shoots his bricks.
Justin Tucker set to kick off.
That's such a weird trade, because on paper it looks so bad for the Sixers, but in all actuality it's like really good for the Sixers. That's one of those rare win-win trades for both sides.
At their own 24-yard line.
Either school saw you were on NFL.com a lot because you don't like school, or they think you're watching inappropriate football stuff. I don't know if it's just specifically you. I would imagine it's blocked probably for the entire school. I remember once we were in Spanish class and a friend of mine was watching football on his iPad. This is when we had iPads instead of computers for school because, well, he liked watching football and didn't care about the class. And then the person behind him just like randomly snitched on him. And it was more so kind of funny. I mean, he didn't really get in trouble, but it was funny because nobody just like, or most people at least, don't just like snitch on someone for watching football, but that was just kind of funny. Just out of the middle of nowhere. Unlucky for them, ESPN also covers football. Well, you gotta make sure they don't see you on ESPN, and to be fair, they can't really see you. I mean, I guess they can see your internet history, but they can see anybody's internet history. Or at least, that's what they tell us. They say that the district has all of the files to your internet history, which if I were to guess is probably true. And if not, they're all a bunch of liars. And it looks like Arizona might finally get on the board. Okay, maybe not, but they get to the 2. Is that John Ross, a speedster? Kid who sits next to you and French just watches Packers highlights all game. That kid deserves to get snitched on then if he's a Packers fan. I mean, shoot, I'm not a person to, like, tattle on someone, but they're a Packers fan. Yeah, I'm doing it. Is this the second game you fell asleep? This is the second game. The Cougars won the first game against the Bengals, which is good news for your Raiders when it comes to getting a playoff spot. And here, the Snowhawks are ahead of the Cardinals. Arizona did just score, so they're trying to stay alive. They're finally on the board. It took over 3 quarters. Damn, you missed your game, but, I mean, you could always go back and watch, but you guys did end up winning. You were down 13-3 and came back and won. I would indeed call it cool. You guys had a couple injuries. I don't know how serious they are. I know Adam Troutman was seen going to the locker room, so he might be out for a couple weeks, but other than that, you guys played fairly well. Dwayne Haskins was pretty good. I mean, Daniel Jones still had a really good year for you guys, but Dwayne Haskins played well. Who would you want to win this game? Considering you're not in either of these teams' conferences, this game does not really affect the Raiders, since this is an NFC game. And then in the AFC game, you guys needed the Bengals to lose, and they did. Nice, nice. Very good to know. Indeed. If you're on Chromebook and want to watch football during class, put your Chromebook to 0 brightness and put earbuds and say you're listening to music. I mean, that worked. That does the job.
The tackle made by Miles Jack. A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4 at the 31-yard line.
Look at Kyler. He runs like a mad ant. And he's good at it, too. Watch it back and make a press release on it. Cool, cool. It was certainly an interesting game. I mean, a low-scoring first half, even though I feel like there was a good amount of offense, and then in the second half, specifically in the fourth quarter, you guys had a nice comeback, ended up winning. Who was able to watch it on 0 brightness? My devices, for the most part, are on low brightness. Maybe not 0, definitely not 0, but for the most part, like,
1st and 10 at the 50-yard line.
I usually have my stuff low, and I can see it easily. I mean, I guess that would just be listening to football, which I guess would be kind of boring. I mean, if you're watching football highlights, you're not watching it to hear what the commentators are saying. You're watching the highlights to actually see it. You do is plug in your earbuds and watch Josh Jacobs type videos and say you're looking at the notes. I mean, for us on Zoom, it's easy because you don't really have to put your camera on, so I don't, because we don't have to. And then I just do whatever I feel like doing while multitasking in class. Kyler Dunn did it again. He is literally a mad ant running to the 24. Have the best vision possible on the highest level, and you don't do exactly. My vision is like ridiculously good, but 0 brightness, you're not seeing anything. Everybody in my family has awful vision, and I just happen to get really lucky. Let the class see your beautiful face. Well, they know what I look like. I mean, most of the people know me, and the teachers know me. I mean, it's not like there are certain times where you kind of have to put your stuff on. So everybody knows about the locks, the beautiful long locks. Your eyes suck. Pain. Kyler Murray revenge game. That's true. Yeah. With 20/20 vision. I think my right eye is 20/20, my left eye is like 20/15. I used to think my left eye was always a little bit worse, but when I last went to the doctors, which was like 3 months ago, they said I had 20/15. So, I mean, I'm not gonna question it. I don't know if you asked, but the Cowboys are chilling at a mediocre record. I would consider 8-7 mediocre, but you guys are first in the division. The Bulldogs are 7-8. So, barring a miracle, that mediocre record should get you the 4 seed. Snowhawks are up by 17. Nuba's lucky he has not witnessed this poor performance by the offense. And a vision towards 2021. That's funny. He said, just. Cardinals need a miracle. They're not out of the playoff race, but with a loss today, I mean, Arizona's pretty much done. And the sad part is they would have clinched if they were in the AFC. Right eye is 20/30 and your left eye is 20/40. Ooh. I don't know how I got so lucky because literally everybody in my family has such awful vision. I don't know how I got so lucky. Like, I don't know how there's possibly a good vision gene in there, but I mean, I got it, so I got 20/20 vision and a vision towards 20/21. Why does your little brother get more girls than you? I don't know. You'd have to ask him. I'm no female expert just because my hair looks like... just because from behind I almost look like one doesn't mean I'm an expert on them. Well, off to do school. Have fun. I always say have fun, like, even if it's something super not fun. Like, if my dad's going into work in the morning and he's leaving, I say have fun. And then something, I don't know. What's good, sports gamer? Welcome to the stream, my guy. This is the second of 2 games, so we're preparing to sim soon as the Snowhawks pick up the fumble. This looks like it's a scoop and score, and I think it is time to sim. The Snowhawks have won their most important game of the season. Will it be enough to bring them to the playoffs, though? And the same goes for Arizona. Can Arizona still make it, and can the Snowhawks still get in? Kyler Murray looks awfully excited. As he should be. As he should be. Vision is so bad when you're watching Raiders utterly dominate, you have to sit 2 feet from a screen. Oof. Yeah, that is kind of bad. Watch Arizona pull off a sim miracle. That'd be funny. Oh, they kind of are. Yeah, no, it looks like Portland's still going to win. Down to 10 seconds and 2 timeouts. Darren Waller, the bowler, with the touchdown. They need an onside kick and, like, the quickest Hail Mary possible. And they don't get it. So this one is over. The Snowhawks keep their chances alive. They improved to 9-7. The Cardinals fall to 9-7. There are going to be a lot of 9-7 teams. This is kind of like the last year of OFL 20 in the NFC, where there were like 7 teams tied for 1 playoff spot, and the 1 CPU team in that group got the playoff spot. Blue Jays should trade for Chris Bryant. I mean, the Blue Jays have a ton of talent in the farm system, so I mean, if they want to compete, then yeah, sure. Are we going to go over stats? Yes. You're the only one who wants defense? No, we need defense bad, too. I mean, we have talent on that side of the ball, but, like, this Diablo team, even though we're a playoff team, we could certainly use some defense in Mexico City. So, Alexei Smirnov was statistically fine. It's just their offense didn't do much. Kyler was efficient, I guess. Near the top 10, that's true. I mean, we're nowhere near the top 10. Kyler had more rushing yards than anybody on Portland combined, specifically just Ronald Jones. That was one of the prop bets. Darren Waller leads in catches. Yards goes to Devontae Adams. Waller had the only touchdown. Lakers should trade Anthony Davis, LeBron, and Montrez, as well as an unprotected first-round pick for Denny. Denny will lead them to the promised land. That's a fleece for the Lakers, though. Why would the Wizards say yes? Wink, wink. Okay, I'm back on your phone with no volume next to your school computer. Well, welcome back, even though you won't hear me. Alrighty, fellas, it's sim time. I don't think I have to do anything else. Ooh, actually, hold on. I want to use your team that's not going to make the playoffs. So, let's use the Steelers. Because we know exactly what's happening in the AFC North. The Cougars won. They're the 1 seed. The Bengals probably won't make it. This game... Oh, they're playing the Steamers. Okay, it is important. Never mind. Who's playing an unimportant game? Where both teams suck. And is in an unimportant division. Nick can't hear me. Whoever his favorite team is not very good. Shots fired. Which game has no importance? This game doesn't. The Texans have their spot essentially locked up, and the AFC South sucks. So, we'll use the Texans. Texans are playing for seeding. I don't care if we get seeding spoiled. BYU is 14. Liberty is in the top 25. Oof. This game does determine if the Rams get the number 1 pick, but I'm focused on suspense for the playoffs, not for the draft. For our sake, go Rams for seeding. I don't think the Rams are going to win, though. Okay, the Texans win, and okay, we're already getting spoils, yay. I saw one of the teams that made it, and you all did too. So the Rams get the number 1 overall pick. And the Texans are playing a team that you all just got to see, unfortunately. Draft season. I'm excited to see the draft class. I have not seen it yet. 51 rushing yards, and they still won in overtime. Justin Herbert played well, but could he be replaced in the offseason by the Rams? So, LA holds all the cards. Rashard Higgins. Wow, hello. I hope you started in the fantasy, kids, because that's a lot of points. Will there be real players in the class? No. There will not. This is a fully made class by our good buddy FG, so whoever he puts in, he puts in. Thunderbirds beat the Niners with all their backups in Keaton. No way! Keaton is the starter at quarterback. What did he do? Keaton threw 4 touchdowns. That's our punter. I mean, it's not my team, but... So, did they win both games? Did they win 2 in a row? No, they lost to the Bucs. So, in Brian Amaya's first start last year as a punter at quarterback, he won. And big old Keaton in his first start at quarterback wins too. Is Keaton Howletting the next Brian Amaya? It appears so. Well, didn't he throw like 84%? Jesus Christ, he was good. What a day by the 12 overall Keaton Howletting. Who needs Patrick Mahomes when you got Keaton? Niners already had their playoff spot locked up. I think they already clinched the division, so this game wasn't super important for the Niners. But, I mean, this hurts the Thunderbirds' draft position but not by much. They still have a top 4 pick. And probably only pick 4. You'll remember that OFL Bowl? If I want to win, you got to put in the punter. It worked for the Redskins last year, now the football team. But technically last year they were the Redskins. And it was working for the Thunderbirds. Puts Mahomes on the trade block. I mean, Mahomes was traded year 1 last year. Coincidentally, from Washington. What a legend. Effing up your tank? Yeah, but you had your punter throw for 4 touchdowns. That's well worth it. Titans beat the Bills. Neither of these teams really had a shot. I think the Titans are 7-9 and the Bills are 6-10. So this did impact draft position for both teams. I'd say the Bills are worse than the Titans, so I guess it's an accurate representation. Bengals, we know they lost. Bills lost. Bucks, they play the Caps. If the Bucks win, they are pretty much in, and they smother Columbus 35-7. Tampa Bay will most likely be in the playoffs. This is not good news for either Arizona or Portland. So, assuming the Thunderbirds and Bucks get 5 and 6, it's going to be Arizona or Portland or Detroit or Orlando or New Orleans who gets the 7 seed. I think if New Orleans wins, they would get it. So New Orleans is in the driver's seat for that upper playoff spot. If Keaton does not win Player of the Week, we're rioting. Jordan Love was very good. Fitzmagic was not, in place of the injured Carson Wentz. Christian McCaffrey, nice yards per carry. Very nice. The Bucs are a deserving playoff team. They were really good this year. So, I think they're a team that's going to do better than their seeding suggests. In the 2 or 3 watch games we saw them, they were really impressive. So, I think this is going to be a team that goes far. Did a 7-9 team make it in the AFC? Well, according to what we saw with the Texans, it looked like, unfortunately, the answer is no. Which would be super fun. The Bulldogs beat the Chargers. So, London could still win this NFC East at 8-8. If Dallas loses, then I don't know who Madden would give it to. Chargers are helping out their tank. Trace McSorley was kind of disappointing. Deshaun Watson was not. Remember to go through all games after. Yes, I will. A lot of rushing touchdowns. 1 for Zeke, 2 for Tony Pollard, 2 for Benny Snell, and 1 for Boston Scott. I think the Chargers finished 6-10, so They'll have a borderline top 10 pick again, kind of like last year. Cole McDonald throws 6 for 9, 69 yards with a 69.420 QBR. Yes. Caps lost, Cardinals lost, Chargers lost, Chiefs. I saw earlier that they were playing the Texans because we simulated with the Texans. So Kansas City gets whatever playoff spot, so I guess that means the Jets are out. So either they won and got unlucky, or the Dolphins won. Or the Jets won, they got in, and the Dolphins didn't, because the Dolphins are 8-7. That's possible. Love how you're in the AFC and contending for a top 3 pick. Well, with the Thunderbirds winning, worst case, you guys have pick 3. You guys have either pick 2 or 3, depending on what happens with the Colts, which alphabetically, they're coming up really soon. Isaiah Thomas with a good game. So the Texans and the Chiefs. That's an interesting playoff game. That is a very interesting game. I think the Chiefs are a deserving playoff team. So, I mean, the Raiders could also lose and miss. The Raiders are 8-7. And then the Dolphins and the Jets as well. So, certainly a lot of teams in the running. Colts lose to New England. New England was 8-7 as well. So, New England is now 9-7. If the Chiefs are in, this means by default the Patriots are in. So it looks like the wild cards in the AFC are most likely the Raiders, Patriots, or no. So this means either the Raiders or Dolphins missed, is what I'm thinking, because the Texans are in, the Patriots are in. So either the Raiders or the Dolphins did not get in, or both. Maybe they both missed and the Jets did. Who knows? Please, oh my Lord, please let out. We had a good season. I'm confused. God, I fam, I got you. Jarrett Stadium was not all that good, so the Ravens and Colts have either 2 and 3. They have a mix of that. So they're both picking in the top 3. Thunderbirds at 4, Rams at 1, and the Patriots will be in the postseason. They probably play us. Us or... Who's the other division? Oh, they might have won their division, actually. If the Dolphins lost, New England wins the division. I didn't think of that. Cougars won. Cowboys win. So Dallas officially clinches the NFC East. And Carolina could... I think Carolina clinches because Arizona lost. So, who wins the NFC South, though? The Bucs or the Panthers? I don't know. Ooh, who won the South? Could it be the Bucs or... The Bucs and Panthers probably play each other in the first round. I wouldn't be surprised. Nick Foles had a really good game, so Dallas most likely plays Memphis, or the loser of the NFC South. So we could have a Dallas-Carolina rematch here. That would be interesting, but expect both of these teams to make it unless something crazy happens with Carolina. Eagles don't carry out my legacy. Well, their offense is just terrible. I mean, they're good on defense, but they suck on offense. They suck bad. Your earbuds may die soon. Oof. Diablos, we have clinched a playoff spot. If we win, we clinch the division. And we lose. Yay. So we could still get a wild card spot, hypothetically, if the Raiders win. Fun. Joe Burrow cooks our defense. He throws for 4 touchdowns. Joe Burrow actually might win MVP. Why did Josh Jacobs get 7 carries? He was damn good on those 7 carries, but either he got hurt or we did something stupid. I would prefer that we did something stupid because we cannot afford to lose Josh Jacobs in the playoffs. Really be the 49ers without our starters. That's kind of sad. So on picks, what's up with the defensive guys? You haven't seen any for FG. I have not seen the draft class either, so I know as much as you do, which is nothing. From all I know, FG should be wrapping it up pretty soon, and once he is, I would certainly like to reveal the players. But I have not seen it. I know absolutely nothing. Except for all the OCAA stuff that has been public to everybody. So I know as much as you guys do. Alright, big game here. Dolphins and Jets. If the Dolphins win, they are in. If the Jets wins, all hell will break loose. Okay, the Dolphins win. I like chaos, but the Dolphins make the playoffs. So, I imagine the 7 teams are, in some order, the Cougars, the Texans, the Diablos, the Patriots, the Dolphins, the Raiders, and the Chiefs. I imagine those are the 7. Barron something wild. Riley Painter was decent. Matt Ryan played well. Didn't throw any picks, shockingly. This is the only time you'll wish pain on Josh Jacobs. Yeah, Josh Jacobs is kind of a beast for us here in the OFL, and obviously he's a beast in real life too. Not a lot of defense in this game. Eagles, their game, if I remember correctly, was pretty meaningless. Oh, maybe for Raiders, maybe not. I think the Raiders are still in, but maybe not. Unless for someone I'm forgetting about, which I don't think so. I think the Raiders are still in even though they lose here. Eagles are just hurting the tank. So this means that I think for since we kind of saw that the Chiefs are the 7th seed, I guess for Raiders are the 6th seed. The Dolphins or Patriots is 5, whoever did not win the division. And then us and the winner of that division are a mix of seeds 3 and 4. Austin Buckley was really good. Cole McDonald was not. Kareem Hunt with 2 scores. Brandon Ayuk with a very Brandon Ayuk-like game. Kent Horse in his first game as a starter scores twice. That's cool. 2 sacks for Darius Smith. Niners lost, Jags won, Jets lost. Ooh, Lions have to win to possibly get in. And they do. I think the Packers already have a 1 seed pretty much locked. But now we have chaos in the NFC. You were 4 before this week, so you have to imagine you won the division. I would say you're right, but the playoff picture doesn't always update. Like, I remember one of the earlier weeks, it had, when everybody in the AFC West was 6 and 6, it had, I think, for Raiders in first place and the Chiefs in second place, according to the playoff picture. And then everybody lost except for the Diablos, so obviously the Diablos will be first place. And then it had the Chargers in the playoff picture, even though originally, when they were all tied, it had the Raiders and the Chiefs. So Madden is not consistent with tiebreakers. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, at worst case, the Dolphins get a playoff spot, but knowing Madden, I don't think this division is guaranteed. Who won the Dolphins and Patriots games? Again, not that I think tiebreakers matter, but if they did, let me see here. New England and... Okay, so they split. So I think the next tiebreaker is division record. Is that everybody? Ooh, Saints and Sentinels. This is a big game. If New Orleans wins, they are in. And if they lose, then we have a 5-way tie for 9 and 7. For Chaos, I hope that is the case. And they won. So New Orleans is in the playoffs. So the Sentinels, the Cardinals, the Snowhawks, and the Lions are all out. Why did you draft Cole McDonald? I don't know. Why did you? Tua Tagovailoa throws 2 touchdowns. Garoppolo throws 2 picks despite winning. So Jose finally gets over the hump. I'm happy for Jose, though. He has never made the playoffs, I don't think, as an OFL coach. So, although I would have liked to see chaos in the NFC, it is good to see him making the playoffs. He's been here since early in OFL 19, I think. All right, time to see these seedings. I am really curious. We're going to go through standings. I want to add the suspense. All right. We're just going to go quickly to divisions. I don't really want to see anything. All right, AFC North. We know this. The Cougars got the 1 seed, and nobody else made it. AFC South. Texans got the 2 seed. Nobody else made it. We know that. AFC East. The Dolphins do win the division. Okay, RSV is right. So the Dolphins are the 4 seed. Hey, RSV finally beat Alpo for a division. That's fun. So the Dolphins are the Dolphins are the 3 seed or the 4 seed because we're 9 and 7 as well, and I don't think we played them. Maybe I'm wrong. New England gets one of the wild card spots. They are probably 5 or 6. So New England plays either us or Miami in the first round. Regardless of who they play, that's a really good game. AFC West, we win the division. Raiders and Chiefs both make it. Did anybody at 8 and 8 miss? I don't think so. Yeah, just a bunch of 7 and 9 teams, but nobody at 8 and 8. Okay. NFC North, the Packers win the division. The Steamers make the playoffs. Did we go through the Steamers game? I don't think we did. They played the Steelers. I don't think we went through that box score. Hold on. So the Steamers win. They are the 5 seed. And the Steelers lost. I don't think we went through that game. Okay, so Memphis wins another one. They win by 1. Yeah, I don't remember seeing this score. Steelers weren't going to make the playoffs anyway, so that's not new. Oh, geez, remember Dolphin Man. What a guy. I'm curious to see all these playoff matchups. We're going to have some really good games. Hello, Crockett. Welcome to the stream. Your team won and has clinched the 7 seed. You guys are in the playoffs, only at 8-8, but you got the spot anyway. So, Kansas City is still alive. All right. Again, I don't want to spoil myself. So, the Packers win the division. Steamers get the 5 seed, and the Lions at 9-7 miss out. So you have the 4th pick? Yes, that is correct. Old QB room. Yeah, they have Drew Brees and Ben Roethlisberger. The Panthers still win the South within a 3-way tie between the Saints and the Bucs, both of whom make the playoffs. So Carolina, who lost their last 2 games, still wins the division. Wow. What pick do you have? You have either 2 and 3. We can check. Change Clyde's name to Clyde Edwards-Chair. You have to have something in front of chair to make that rhyme and to be funny. NFC East, Dallas won at 9-7. NFC West, Niners won at 11-5. Final seedings. Cougars, Texans, Dolphins, Diablos, oh dear God, we play New England. Vegas at 6, Chiefs at 7. It looks like the Colts get pick 2 and the Ravens get pick 3, according to this. NFC, Packers 1, Niners 2, Panthers 3, Cowboys 4, Steamers 5, Saints 6, Bucs 7. Bucs Niners is a really good game. Lions, Snowhawks, and Cardinals at 9-7 all miss out. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Okay, we're getting there. Who do the Chiefs play? The Chiefs play Houston. Let's take a look at the full playoff picture. So the Cougars and Packers are the 1 seeds. Chiefs, Texans, Raiders, Dolphins, Patriots, Diablos, Bucs, Niners, Saints, Panthers, and Steamers, Cowboys. We got some really good games. So, we're going to have one stream where we watch 3 games, and one stream where we watch the other 3 games. Probably within the next coming days, since, obviously, we all have Thanksgiving break. Maybe I do one on Friday and one on Saturday. That might be a good idea, because Thursday I don't really want to do because that's Thanksgiving, and that'd be kind of a bad day to do it. I mean, we're spending time with family. The Lions are on TV getting smothered. And for Friday and Saturday makes sense. All right, let's take a look at weekly awards, season awards, some of the league leaders, and then that'll end it. So the weekly awards are Rashard Higgins, Levante David, Joe Burrow, and Mike Hughes. All righty. The MVP award goes to Russell. Russ does not deserve it, I'm sorry. 14 interceptions. 22nd best passer rate. I'm sorry, Russ does not deserve it. Russ arguably deserves it in real life, but here in the OFL, he does not deserve the MVP. I'm sorry, he just does not. Who would I give it to then, though? I mean, the Chiefs only went 8-8, but I think Isaiah's certainly in the discussion. Statistically, I think the best quarterback was probably Joe Burrow, but his team did not make the playoffs. That's interesting. There's no clear MVP. Fine, because you have Thanksgiving this week, and you had it in, you guys had Thanksgiving in October? What? Who does that? I mean, I guess Canada does different stuff. I mean, it's not like Christmas is on one. I mean, Christmas is on one set day. Thanksgiving, I guess, isn't. I mean, our Thanksgiving is an American holiday. Christmas is like a world holiday. So yeah, that makes sense. Colin wins Coach of the Year. I'm happy it's him instead of some inactive fool. I mean, most of these guys up here on this list are active. Packers. But other than that, everybody else is, for the most part. Oh, wait, and the Steamers. No! Why is Tyler on the list? No! I didn't even notice. Get him off this list. Tyler's team sucked when he was the coach, and when he got fired, they did really well. So get Tyler off the list, please. Check all weeks. Okay, I'll do that right now, actually. And then we'll go back to the other awards. I don't want to forget. How people made American measuring system was a bunch of drunk people saying random numbers. No, we want playoff schedule, so week by week. Alright, I'm going to go through these pretty quickly. If you want to pause, like as you're re-watching this, then certainly go ahead. That's probably a smart idea. Oh yeah, we beat the Cougars week 1. I forgot about that. We actually beat a real team. Good for us. Feels weird seeing all these scores, and then all the watch games are super low scores except for that one. I wonder who would have made the playoffs if Arizona won. Because there would have been about 17,000 10-6 teams in the NFC. Love looking at these Colts losses. Right as I say that, we passed by a Colts win. 2 8-8 teams in the same division make the playoffs. That is kind of wild. I feel like that just goes to show how bad the AFC is. But we've not seen the Raiders yet. I'm curious to see them in a watch game. And then Kansas City, I think, is better than their record suggests. Dear God, they won 31-0? Bengals probably won 31-0. Follow me because you're the Bengals. Think you won one game when you were the coach? I mean, the Raiders seem to do really well in the second half of the year. AFC will be good when the Colts come. I mean, it'll be better when the Colts are good. But we got to see a bunch of other teams progress for sure. A very large majority of the teams in the NFC would have easily made the playoffs in the AFC. But, I mean, with no clear favorite, I feel like any of these 14 teams can make a run. Which I think is certainly really fun. Obviously, last year in OFL 20, we really did not have a whole lot of parity. 3 of the 5 years, we had the exact same OFL Bowl. The Niners beating the Patriots. Patriots made it all 5 years. Here in OFL 21, we have parity. Chiefs making a run, I really wouldn't be surprised if they did. Not every NFC team, but a lot of them. A lot of teams that missed would have made it. I just saw on Twitter, I'm hearing the Jayhawks have received an exciting 2022 commitment. Hopefully that's for basketball, and if that's the case, then I guess I have something to be excited about after the stream. Woohoo. Wonder how the Cavs video is doing, by the way. It appears it's doing pretty darn good. Think you're making the AFC Championship in the sim year? Yeah, you guys did make it. I think it was the Raiders and the Bucks who made the conference championships. I want to say. Alright, there you go. Alright, let's go back to weekly or yearly awards, then stats, and then we will be done. Your gosh darn amazing spreadsheet. Alright, we'll try to go through these pretty quickly. Dante Hightower won Defensive Player of the Year. I don't remember him really being in the running. Huh. Isaiah Thomas wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. Riddle over Painter. Interesting. Whew! Zion didn't win, no! We needed 59 overall. Zion McManus with his 6 tackling to win it. No! I am salty. No, I don't want NFC. Drew Lock in 3rd. Ooh, Josh Jacobs just running back. You love to see that. Brandon Ayuk, best receiver. No surprise. He's kind of a machine in this game. Or at least in this OFL universe. Nick Bosa wins it over Joey Bosa. Joey Bosa's not even on the list. Von Miller, best linebacker. Best defensive back. Greedy Williams. Noah Benogany finishes in 3rd, and he missed like 6 games. That's pretty wild. Shout out to Igbo. And then Aldrich Rosas, Mr. Hit and Run. I think that was his crime. 4 Eyes finishes in 3rd. The Hot Rod. Then on to the NFC. Aaron Rodgers wins Offensive Player of the Year. Smirnoff in 5th. I imagine he won Rookie of the Year, as he probably should. I mean, his only competition's Austin Buckley, so yeah, he deserves it over Buckley easily. Bobby Wagner, Defensive Player of the Year. Does not seem like he's the Chico that he was in Madden 20, but still pretty darn good. Offensive Rookie of the Year does go to Smirnoff fairly easily. If you get drafted for Raiders, hypothetically, you force yourself to get traded in a package deal with Ayuk. That is something we'd probably have to think about. Keaton finishes in 7th because of his one game. Yes, Keaton. But that's certainly something we could think about, Lucario, for sure. Before you start working on the OFL spreadsheet, should you include something? What is that something? The user. Alex Williams, Radios player, wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. That's fun. Jordan Love, best quarterback. Love is going to be dangerous in the playoffs. Hot rod for number 1. Second best rookie special teamer in the real-life NFL. No one's better than Jack Fox. No one's better than Jack Fox. Best punter in football. There's one thing the Lions have had consistently the past 30 years. It's ridiculously good kickers and punters. Maybe not as much punters. I mean, we've always had good kickers the past 30 years. Matt Prater's been a beast, and then Jason Hansen was on the team for like 22 years or something. Just want to make it better, something you're missing? Oh, you're asking me if there's something you're missing. Not that I know of. I mean, we can certainly take a look at it as you go along. But seems like you've got a good plan in motion. Alright, let's take a look here quickly at the yearly awards, and then that will complete the stream. Matt Ryan led in yards. I imagine that's not the only thing he led in. Cough, cough, picks. Who led in touchdowns, though? Who only had 18? Breeze. Ugh. Kyler only had 16. There's Keaton. Not too far away from Van DiNucci. Alright, most passing touchdowns. Did anybody have 40? Ryan Tannehill did. He also had a bunch of picks. Interceptions. The least amount of interceptions for like a starter is... I don't know if I should count Tom Brady. I guess out of guys who have started every game, that will go to Tua Tagovailoa with 6. You're definitely the best rookie quarterback this year. I'm not going to disagree. About injuries, good call. Yeah, I want to look at injuries too. Not that hot of a take, but Brandon Ayuk is best receiver in the OFL. Probably him or Terry McLaurin. I would say one of those two. They're both insane. Got a Twitter post for OFL to make for your award winning. Cool. Should you include champions of the OFL Bowl and MVP by season? I guess so. I'm surprised Ryan only led by 3. I feel like he would have led by more. But yeah, he threw a ton of picks. Highest completion percentage, not including Keaton, went to Isaiah Thomas for rookie at only 71%. I feel like that's low for first place. But what a year from Isaiah Thomas. 18 picks, the Raiders better draft you. Who had the lowest completion percentage among starters? Austin Buckley, why am I not surprised? At 58. Leading rusher was Christian McCaffrey, and he won it pretty convincingly. Well, not a lot of guys with over 1,000 yards. J.K. Dobbins, Eckler, Mixon, Le'Veon Bell, Barkley. I'm surprised Barkley was in 4th. I feel like he wasn't that good this year. Josh Jacobs, Zeke, and obviously CMC. So not a lot of great running backs. Do you like the colors on the bottom of the team names? I probably have to take another look at it, but I mean, that seems creative. Josh Jacobs led in touchdowns. He did not fumble it once, by the way. Me likey. That's my running back. Who had the most fumbles? Probably a quarterback. Nope. Devin Singletary with 5. His longest run was 18 yards. That's Madden for you. With a lot, unless you're a superstar running back, your longest run is going to be sub 20 yards. Robert Woods led the league in yards. Juju in 2nd. Brandon, holy cow, he had 15 touchdowns. Dear God, Brandon Ayuk is good, and so is Terry McLaurin. Both of these guys are going to go up in dev, and if not, I'm going to do it manually because they deserve it. Oh, I want to see all the 1,000-yard receivers first. Hakeem Butler is the last qualified receiver. Hashtag free Hakeem Butler. He needs to start somewhere, whether that's the Chargers or somewhere else. All right, those are your 1,000-yard receivers. Who is the Bucs quarterback? Jordan Love. Jamison Crowder led the league in receptions at 96. And then touchdowns, I imagine Ayuk was in first place, followed by McLaurin, Sterling Shepard. Woods, Zay Jones had 11 touchdowns on 48 catches. Sacks, who love the most? Chukwuma Okorafor. Why am I not surprised it's a Patriot? Like how in 2K you can override the MVP. I do like that as well. I mean, that's not like a super big deal, but I guess that's fun. They should have that in Madden 21. They should have a lot in Madden 21. Not that they will. Every team loves a sim god, Brandon, and a man named Cole as his quarterback. I mean, Brandon Ayuk led the league in touchdowns with a 60 overall quarterback. That's impressive. Alex Williams leads in tackles. Tackles for loss, Cam Hayward. Most sacks goes to Nick Bosa with 17.5. Not a lot of high guys with sacks. Most interceptions is Greedy Williams with 6. Igbo at 5, and he missed like 6 games. That's pretty good. Did anybody go 100% on the season? Probably not. Matt Prater and Aldrich Rosas did not miss a kick. This is some, like, what was the Vikings kicker's name? Was it Gary Anderson or was it Morton Anderson? I think it was Gary Anderson. I think Morton Anderson was more famous with the Saints. Was Gary Anderson the guy who did not miss a kick until the playoffs? Yeah. As a member of the Vikings in 1998, Anderson became the first NFL kicker to successfully convert every field goal and point-after touchdown during the regular season. Well, now Aldrich Rosas has entered the club. Aldrich Rosas is the MVP of the OFL. I'm with you. Disrespect to Rodrigo from Madden. 4 eyes ain't missing anything. He has doubled the eyes. All right, let's see injuries going into the playoffs. Texans have quite a few, including Aaron Jones. I mean, knowing Naruto, he is a bazillion running backs behind him, but that's still a big deal. The Bucs have no injuries. The Chiefs have a few, specifically Trent Williams. Scooter Young is also going to be out for a majority of the playoffs. Who's your Super Bowl matchup? I'll probably make predictions in the Discord. I'd have to think about it. Dante Jackson, Sheldon Rankins, and Corey Littleton. So, Rankins and Littleton got hurt today. They did not have locker room cutscenes yet. Troutman did, and Troutman's the only one who's fine. That's odd. But yeah, the Cougars kind of got unlucky with injuries. They're lucky that they started quite a few guys, they started quite a few backups, but they had some of their starters get hurt. The fact that we don't have Scooter is good because we have an actual running back. That's true. Was there a kicker won the MVP during the lockdown? I think kickers have won the MVP before, yeah. Which is kind of wild. Dallas does not have anybody. We still have Igbo, who's out for the year, sadly. Dolphins have nobody. 49ers have Preston Smith and Randall Cobb. Cobb towards ACL. Packers are without Dalvin Cook. Oh boy, that's a big deal. The Packers are the 1 seed, so they get a first-round bye, but no Dalvin Cook. And they're without T.Y. Hilton. Wow. Okay. Panthers have nobody. Patriots have nobody. Raiders have nobody. Saints are going to be without Jalen Ramsey for the playoffs. And a lot of Darius Slayton. Wow, we got some big injuries. We got some big injuries going into the postseason. Steamers are nobody, and that's it. All right. Wow. We got some major injuries going into the playoffs. Big ol' one fort. So here's a final look at the playoff picture. Chiefs, Texans, Raiders, Dolphins, Patriots, Diablos, Steamers, Cowboys, Panthers, Saints, and Bucks, Niners. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to probably watch the 3 Saturday games first. So Chiefs, Texans, Bucks, Niners, and Raiders, Dolphins. These seem like the 3 best games, though. I don't know. I don't know how we're gonna order it yet. I'll probably let you guys decide somehow, but also Brendan Ayuk was not even in the slot. Damn, that's impressive. But disrespect to AGG, only 2 upgrade points. Oof. But that'll end the stream. The Week 17 extravaganza is done. The first official regular season is in the books. We've got a fun playoffs upcoming within these next few weeks. And then that will bring us to the off season. I hope everybody enjoyed. Have a good one. And peace.